Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the DropZone. Sorry for the late start, but it happens. It's really not going to matter because we don't really have that much to talk about today, so we really don't have much of a long show like we usually have, just for the simple fact that there's really not much going on. But, you got your boys with you, Anthony, Jeff. How you doing today, bud?
Pretty good, people. I'll be honest. That late start is on me. Uh, the sleep monster had my ass today. I wanted to keep sleeping. But yeah, again, we wanted to go live anyway, even though we don't have much to talk about. It's going to be interesting stuff to talk about anyway. Again, sports world is very quiet. The NBA is just ramping back up after the All-Star break this week, and the NFL is in the off season, so not much going on other than one big weird, confusing story, which we will start with right now. Tony has a lot of the details on that, so I will let Tony take it away.
Okay, so our biggest story right now that's going on is in the NFL, and it's involving the Chicago Bears. So, for those of you who haven't heard, right now the Chicago Bears are possibly on the verge of actually leaving Chicago and moving to Indiana. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know how much of the financial story of this is true, but from what I received and heard, um, the NFL and the Bears wanted to build a stadium in, I think it was Arlington in Chicago, and I think the stadium was for like I think 4.8 million, and they only wanted in Illinois to just put up 1/3 of the cost of the stadium. That supposedly didn't take place. So Harrington, Indiana said, "Hey, we'll build you the stadium," which is like, I think this is 17 miles from the Illinois border. So yeah, it's really weird. I read that it was approved in Indiana. It's going to the, I believe, Senate for them to finally get it approved. Um, Illinois does have a chance to still keep the Bears in Illinois. From what I understand, the mayor of Arlington is trying to figure out how to make it more tax friendly for them to build the stadium. And again, like I said, only thing the NFL and the Bears asked for was for a third, not half, not 50%, 1/3 of the cost that it's going to cost to build the stadium. And a lot of people was like, well, we spend double that on immigration in Illinois alone. So yeah, right now that is what, to me, it seems to be keeping the Bears from having a new stadium built in Illinois.
This is very strange, especially after the Bears had one of their best seasons in the past probably decade, and that's being very nice. It could be even longer than that. Um, it is a very weird thing. Like, it's very tough to even try to talk about because there's so many ifs, ands, and buts about. what's
Yeah,
really going to happen.
it's bizarre.
Um, the Indiana lawmakers, they move forward with their end of proverbial deal to move the Chicago Bears to Hammond, passing the Senate Bill 27 nearly unanimously in a 95 to 4 vote on Tuesday. Um, the bill outlines the financial incentives and authority to build a stadium in northwest Indiana's Lake County. Uh, uh, it's unclear whether the team intends to move from Chicago. So obviously, everybody from um, Chicago hasn't really agreed to this. The team president and everybody hasn't agreed to it, but um, the Bears are representatives have agreed to keep the team within the state of Illinois. Um, but they could be moving out of Chicago, which I think would be so stupid. But again, it's all for money, of course. Last week, Indian lawmakers announced they had a verbal commitment from the Bears to invest $2 billion in a Hammond Stadium, but not a formal deal has been signed. Um, Again, it's so strange because this is the last team I would expect to be moving. Again, after they had such a good season last year, uh, I guess the reason why they're moving, the team had been seeking tax breaks and nearly $900 million in public funding to build a stadium in Cook County, singling out Arlington Heights as an option in late 2025, according to the media post at the time. Um, the Bears president and CEO Kevin Warren expressed his frustration with the state of negotiations in a December 17th open letter, saying the team was not receiving a sense of urgency or appreciation to date. Um, Here's the thing. Again, that last year was the best you guys did in the past decade plus. Uh, so yeah, of course, there's really not going to be much urgency to get a new stadium or wherever you want it done. Um, but yeah, this is very strange. I don't know if you have anything else to
Um,
jump back in.
my only issue with this is for the fact that they. I know there's a lot more behind everything that we, from what we understand, that we don't even know that's being uncovered yet. I do know that the Bears, I believe there's some a report came out that they were still tied to some of the renovations that was done to Soldier Field, and like 500,000, I think $500 million. But the problem with that is the fact that they can't get a lot of the traffic because it's too congested. So they're trying to get more open space, which for an NFL team, I mean, that's, you know, coming off one of their best seasons in, I want to say, at least 20 years. They need the room. And if they're really seriously only asked, the state to put in one third of the cost, while the Bears and the NFL is eating up the rest of it, I don't see why they wouldn't do it. Again, it's not like they was asking them to foot up like 75% of the cost of the stadium or anything like that. It was one third of I believe this. I believe it was 4.8 billion to build the stadium. So I mean, yeah, I just it's just puzzling to me how the Illinois is willing to let the Bears go to Indiana of all places, and it's just puzzling to me.
Yeah. The only other thing I got is that apparently there's literally an actual rule that the Bears hold marketing rights in the area because it's with it to be able to move down to Indiana because it's within a 75-mile radius of downtown Chicago. So, like you said, it's right on the border of Illinois
Yeah, it's
and,
like it's
and
like I think it says like 17 miles.
Indiana. Yeah, so it's within a 75-mile radius to Chicago. So, but that's right. That applies to every team. So they could all move rather quickly, and as long as they're within a 75-mile radius, they can move to a different spot. But again, that would just be weird calling it anything but the Chicago Bears. Will they still call it the Chicago Bears? Would they have to call someone or something else, change the name? There's a lot into it. What it all comes down to, I think it all comes down to money. Um,
I mean,
like everything.
as far as the name change, hey Brian, um, I mean they could keep it like I mean, let's look at the Jets and the Giants. They both play in New Jersey, but they're still called New York. You got the Commanders that you know play in DC. You got Dallas that plays in Arlington. They don't play in Dallas. So you do got some teams that actually play outside of their designated town. But I mean, I just can't see the Chicago Bears being called anything else but the Chicago Bears. The Indiana Bears just sound so bizarre and weird to me. Even if they change it to the Hammond Bears, it's just it it sounds it sounds weird.
It doesn't sound like an NFL team. It sounds like a like if we had like a minor league for NFL. Like if we had like a G League in the NFL. That's what that sounds like an Indiana
Exactly.
Bears. Um, so yeah, very interesting, very weird. Uh, and they actually just let their star linebacker Trent Edmonds go and look for a trade this offseason. So they allowed him to go seek a trade option, which is weird. He was the leading tackler this past season, and they're letting him go look for a trade, which
Yeah, that
is
is weird too. I
yeah.
don't know if that has something to do with the fact that they're planning on moving the team and maybe he doesn't want to be a part of that. Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, there's not much news. Atlanta placed their franchise tag on Kyle Pitts. Maybe they'll actually start using him consistently. Maybe not. Who knows? That's been the joke of his whole career. They don't know how to use him. Dallas resigned running back Javonte Williams to a 3-year, $16 million guaranteed contract. And the Rams promoted pass game coordinator Nate Gelase to OC. And the only last little bit of news I have is, unfortunately, on February 21st, Minnesota wide receiver Rondell Moore uh, died at the age of 25 with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He was found in his garage. He was drafted in the second round by Arizona in 2021 with 135 receptions for 1,201 yards and 3 touchdowns. He missed the 2024 season with a dislocated right knee while he was on the Falcons. Then in 2025, he injured his left knee in the Vikings preseason opening game. Um, thoughts and prayers go out to his family, friends, and his teammates. This is we just had this. not this exact situation, but we had it with Marshawn Nealand on the Cowboys uh, last year. This is it's sad. I know me and I know myself and Tony are very big advocates on mental health awareness. Um, and it's just sad, and I think a lot of people don't realize the toll the uh it takes on the body, to go out with the two major injuries in the past 2 seasons and just doing nothing but rehabbing those injuries. You're out on the field with your teammates and your friends as much. So again, it's very sad. Um, Again, we hope nothing but the best for his family and his teammates and his loved ones through this terrible, terrible time. Again, if anybody's going through anything, reach out and get help. There's a 988 hotline that is free at all times. So I'll let you take it away, Tony.
I really don't have much to. I mean, you basically said it. Said it all for both of us. We are both very huge advocates for mental health. We tell everybody, make sure you're, mentally you're fine. If you need to talk to someone, find someone to talk to. Don't let this get to the point where you end up losing your life. Um, yeah, like I said, I mean, I can't pretty much stay more on what you already said. I mean, you said it for both of us, and like I said, we're both big advocates of mental health. You know, whether it doesn't matter if you're male or female. It doesn't matter. Mental health is something that's very seriously, and it should be taken serious.
Yeah, I mean, I think for athletes, it's kind of pushed to the side. Like, I get upset like when athletes get injured, but I don't really think of the human aspect of wow, now they have to rehab for about half a year or more to even get back out on the field. Um, just just talk to people. Don't keep your emotions in. You got to talk to people. Me and Tony check up on each other constantly to see how we're doing. If we need to talk, as guys, it's been kind of ingrained in our head. You can't talk about your emotions. You gotta um just you know just move on and deal with everything, and that's not right. And me and Tony, we open up to each other. We tell each other like what's going on. If we need to talk, if you don't feel like you have someone like that in your life, again, there's a hotline out there, a 988 hotline to just call. It's a free hotline. Just you're not alone. There's somebody out there going through something, and on the this uh, on Ron Delmore with this, uh, suicide is a permanent problem or is a permanent solution to a temporary problem in your life. You can always, you know, fight through whatever you're going through. It's not the answer because it's it it affects more people than you know. Like a lot more people care about you than what you think. Um, I don't really have any more news, but NBA. I don't know how much you've been following the NBA.
Well, I do have
Um,
one more for the NFL.
okay, go ahead.
So I did get an alert. I think it was about an hour ago that Kyler Murray and the Cardinals are officially divorcing. Which I mean, we pretty much had suspected that was going to happen. It was actually reported by Fox Sports. It says Kyler Murray wants a clean split from frustrated Cardinals. Yeah, it's pretty much been a hit or miss relationship with these two, with Murray and the Cardinals, and you know, because of his past injury from last season, well, the season before, that he just is just time for them to actually just part ways, and they're looking to do this as clean as possible. I don't know if there's going to be a trade involved or just they're going to just flat out release him. But yeah, they're. I mean, both sides are ready to move on in different directions.
I mean, it's been seeming like that for the past couple seasons. Like you said, it's really no shock to I know me and you. It's really not a shock. Um, Again, I do wonder if it's going to be a trade and or they're just going to straight up be like, listen, just go find and just go be happy somewhere else because it's not working anymore. And when we respect you, we don't want to send you to somehow an even worse situation than what we have here. Um, but you know, Kyler's still a great talent. Yes, is he short? Or like jokes in front of him about it. Yes, but he is still a good talent. He's a mobile quarterback. Um, and I think in the right situation, he could definitely thrive. Um, but yeah, I am interested to see how they're gonna go about this. Uh, if they're just gonna be like, because I don't, and I think his contract is kind of big, and I don't know what the cap hit would be if they just released him.
So I have it right here. It says this, despite what is clearly a fractured relationship, Arizona could save significant cap space if they find a trade partner. He has 2 years left on his 5 year, $230 million contract. Despite the uncertainty, offensive was up. I guess that's the GM, or maybe it's his agent. Nope, it's the Cardinals general manager. Whew, hate to say that. Have to say that name often. Despite the uncertainty, Austinford was optimistic about his relationship with Murray when speaking with the media. Yeah, I've always had a good dialogue with Kyler. Austinford said, "In I say, last season wasn't up to what Kyler wanted. It wasn't up to what any of us wanted as the season was a whole. So yeah, their best bet is to find a trade partner because if not, it's going to be a significant cap hit to them. Like I said, there's a couple of teams that we could use them. I even said just Steelers would be a good fit if they could find a way to get them. I mean, the only, like I said, my only issue with Kyler Murray is his height because I think he's like five. I think they're being generous when they say he's 5'10", but I think he's more like 5'9", 5'8".
Hmm.
He could possibly be a good fit for your Steelers. My only issue with your Steelers is your offensive line, but at least he has the ability to escape. He won't be a sitting duck like Aaron Rodgers was, or when you had Russell Wilson.
Hmm.
Um, Another possible place he could land that needs a quarterback. The Indianapolis Colts. That's a possibility. Depending on the situation with Tua, Miami could be a possibility. So I mean, he does have options. We just know it's not going to be Arizona.
Yeah, I
Hell,
mean,
he could go to the Raiders.
hmm I mean, with with Miami, they could really just do because both quarterbacks are making hella money.
Yeah,
Um, So they probably could just do a trade for each other at that point. Murray for Tua, maybe some picks involved, whatever. Um, Steelers again. Rodgers still hasn't even made his mind up yet, and if he's saying we're going. So it wouldn't be bad to have him or to get Kyler. Again, we have Mason Rudolph and then Will Howard there still as well. Raiders again. There's a lot of places that need kind of a good stable quarterback. Um, you know, I the Browns. I don't see them going after him because of just the amount of quarterbacks that they already have. Colts would be an interesting one. You know, with Daniel Jones having such a good season, again, he's trying to rehab from an injury. So we don't know how he's going to look next season. He looked good on the Colts this past season, but we don't really know if that's going to stay and be consistent. Um,
My
yeah,
issue with
there's
the Colts is because of the Sauce Gardner trade, they really don't have much flexibility.
no, they don't. They took a lot of his contract and they don't have really have a lot of space. And like you said, Murray is still on a 2-year, $230 million contract. Like he still has a lot of money to get paid out to him. So unless he takes a bit of a cut, there's a lot of teams that really can't do it unless they move their cap space around a lot. Which we know how these NFL players are about their money. They like to keep their money and they're not gonna change it for anything really. Um But yeah, Lamar and the Ravens are going to try and get a deal done, and both sides are confident that they'll get an extension done this offseason, or he won't be moving anywhere. Um, I know that San Francisco's offensive lineman Trent Williams, he is trying to restructure his contract to where like they can make some moves, but you know he's not happy with certain things, so they might just say that he's going to be a free agent. Uh, I saw that report as well, so that would be actually interesting because he's the top offensive tackle that would be out there in free agency. NBA again, I don't know if you follow the NBA much, but I mean, it's heating up now. Again, we're getting into off after All Star break. This is where the playoff push starts. Um, the Pistons have absolutely shocked me. I mean, I expected it to be pretty much the Knicks East to lose, and because again, Celtics with no Tatum, I didn't think we're going to get this good, and the Pistons have just risen to the top. You guys are sitting at third at least, but yeah, again, I don't know if you really have followed much NBA or not right now.
Well, like I said, I usually don't follow it at the beginning until after the All Star break because that's when it actually starts getting good. Because then teams are actually playing for something because it's getting to closer to postseason. Um, Basically, we're at the end of February. We got basically a month and a half left of the regular season. We got all of March and half of April before the postseason starts. So this is now the time for teams who, you know, solidify their spots in the playoffs for home court advantage and stuff like that. And you got those teams at the bottom that needs to, make it to the at least a playing game to get a shot at the postseason. So this is where the season does start heating up, and you see the teams actually playing like they got something to play for because now they do. I mean, now is not the time to screw around and say, "Oh yeah, we're the number 2 seed. Yeah, we should be good. We in the playoffs or not, regardless." Yeah, that doesn't work that way. So
You
yeah,
know,
this is
um,
This is why I get invested in the NBA is after the All Star game, pretty much towards the end of February, going into March.
Yeah, I just want to ask you something. So teams have been actually fined for tanking in the past week. Jazz and the Pacers. I don't know if there's really a good reason to, or not a good reason, because the paying customer is paying to watch these stars play, and we're just kind of sitting them. What the Jazz did in the fourth quarter against the Heat, they sat Jaren Jackson, Laurie Market, and a bunch of their starters to try and lose the game, which they actually ended up winning, but they were still fined $100,000. Um, I don't know what the NBA could really do to stop the tanking situation. Um,
Um, I don't think there's anything that they can really do other than just constantly keep. I mean, if you want to take a more dramatic route in trying to force teams to stop tanking, the only thing I could see them doing outside of finding the team is taking away draft picks. That's the only thing I could see being done to force teams to stop tanking. Is take away draft picks if they're if and again we also got to look at it this way. You got to prove that they're actually tanking. I mean, yeah, for the common fan, we could tell the team is tanking. I mean, Philadelphia for the longest made it no secret because they called it the process.
hmm
Um, so I mean, yeah, I mean, as teams do make some teams for some reason make it obvious, but yeah, I think the only way you could actually completely stop teams from tanking is take away draft picks. That's the only thing I could come with because I mean, you could keep finding them, but bottom line is, unless you're finding them like $10 million, you're really not hurting them.
hmm
Taking away the draft
I
picks
like.
now that will hurt them team because that's what they're tanking for is the draft picks. And if they don't have the picks to that those picks, and remember this is the NBA, it's not the NFL. You don't have 7 rounds. You got two.
hmm
So you lose your first round draft pick and a second round draft pick, yeah, you're fucked.
I like that idea. I've seen people just say get rid of the draft. I'm like, that makes no sense whatsoever. So it'd just be pretty much free agency for rookies as well. Um, I mean, you could. I mean, teams who blatantly cheat. Sorry, not cheat, but uh,
Make
just
it
tank.
obvious.
Yeah, like when they make it obvious, the whole sitting your starters in the fourth quarter, there's nothing wrong with them when it's a close game. That's pretty obvious. Like why would you not have your starting players in the game at that point? Um, because all day it takes, like, all right, were they injured? No. Okay, then why weren't they out there? And then there's no really explanation that you could give that would make sense. Um, and then again, teams would get sneaky about it, but again, I like that fix. Just take away their draft picks because again, like you said, that's what they're tanking for, is is for those high draft picks. And if they don't have the pick, then
You basically just wasted the season for nothing.
hmm so yeah, again, nothing much going on in the NBA. It's ramped back up. It's only been like a few games after the All-Star break. So I'm sure there'll be we will talk about it more next week. But that's all the news I got for everything.
I'm trying to think there was anything. Let's see. Um, I really don't see much going on. Um, well, so I do have a dummy for you, and it's not in one of our usual sports that we discuss.
Okay.
So I just got a. This was reported today by ESPN. The title says police video shows Vince McMahon 100 miles per hour crash in Connecticut. So the former CEO of the WWE, Vince McMahon, let's see, it says newly released police video obtained by the Associated Press shows former WWE CEO Vince McMahon's high-speed car crash in Connecticut last summer and reveals that the state trooper was trying to catch up to him to pull him over at the time. McMahon, now 80, was driving his 2024 Bentley Continental GT on the Marriott Parkway in Westport on July 24th. Coincidentally, the same day that the WWE legend Hulk Hogan died of a heart attack in Florida, state police said the Bentley, which can cost over $300,000, was going 100 miles per hour or more. Now, me and you, I just looked up and see. Now, me and you, we've stated plenty of times, especially to athletes, that are
Dummy.
speeding.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to use my button in a while. Hmm.
Uh, but here's the funny part. So the state police detective asked, "Why were you driving all over 100 miles per hour?" Reply McMahon, "I got my granddaughter's birthday." So it sounds like he was rushing to get to his granddaughter's birthday party. You want to hit your button again?
Dummy. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's quite funny the conversation that went back and forth between the state trooper and McMahon. But this was the end of this conversation. Um, they said it did not appear McMahon was trying to escape the trooper. "I'm trying to catch up to you, and you keep taking off," Robinson told McMahon in a video recorded by a police body camera on the side of the highway. McMahon replies, "No, no, no. I'm not trying to outrun you. He was just trying to get to his granddaughter's birthday party." Um, Now we know that if this would have been me or you, we're getting arrested.
Well, yeah, because that's almost criminal speeding.
That's beyond criminal speed. So yeah, it's like I said. I mean, this is the time of the season where we don't get much new, but you know, we do get some comedy out of stupidity.
Yeah, I would needed to get to my daughter's, or sorry, my granddaughter's birthday party. So I'm gonna go over 100 miles an hour. 79, and I almost did make it. I almost died because I was on it because I was going 100. It's funny because I just saw LaMelo Ball's. He got in a crash for for driving recklessly. I think it was like a day or two after the All Star game. in his Hummer or whatever he was driving. It looked really stupid. Yeah, Vince, you're an idiot. Uh, that's what I'm gonna say. I wouldn't say that to your face because even though you're 80, you would still kick my ass. Um,
Well, I don't know. You probably just got to kick him in his leg and he's done.
maybe, but yeah, Vince, that you earn those two dummy button. It's you earn those two. That's for sure.
I was glad I was able to get you to use your dummy button this week.
I haven't used it in a very long time
I
because
know it's been
everyone's
a
been kind
while.
of everyone's been on their best behavior. I think they found out about it. They don't want to be on the segment of the dummy of the week.
And I found that. Well, you could think ESPN sent me an alert to my phone. So
Yes, thank you, ESPN. Thank you. I saw something about it, but I was like, is this like fake? Like, is this like an AI thing? Because AI is way too good nowadays. And I was like, I don't know, but it's real. And I'm like,
yeah, because
that's crazy.
yeah, when I first seen it, when it came across, I was like kind of skeptical. I was like, what? Like that would have been more, came out more, especially if it happened last year
Hmm.
and it's just now being reported. So I was like, and then I just because we really had nothing else to discuss, I was like, well, let me open it up and see what. And sure enough,
It's Vince. It's him.
I'm like, oh god, you're 70. At the time that incident happened, you were 79 years old. You definitely are a lot smarter than that. I would expect that from a 21-year-old, somebody in their early 20s that just getting their license and stuff like that. You're a 79-year-old grandfather. You should know better than that.
I can't believe he's not like he has someone drive for him. He has so much money. I'm shocked that he drives himself.
I mean, he usually does have a driver, but I guess that day he felt like he wanted to drive himself, and see, that's what he gets.
Yep, and go over 100.
Hopefully, they take his license from him.
Probably not. But they let him go.
But it's just, I mean, like I said, me and you get on athletes for doing dumb shit like that. It's bad when we got to get on a now 80-year-old man for doing some dumb shit like that.
Yeah, the former CEO of WWE.
Yeah, I really can't think of. I mean, my phone really hasn't been that busy today as far as sports news.
No, like all week it's been fairly quiet.
I mean, we do get occasional things like, like I got the update about Kyler Murray, which, I mean, we both spoke on that when the season ended, that we seen him be, him in Arizona departing. Um, I mean, I am getting some Winter Olympic news, but I'm not going to lie, I'm not a huge Winter Olympic fan, so I really don't pay close attention to that. I don't know if you are.
No, I don't. I really watch basketball right now. Never mind the Winter Olympics.
I mean, I am getting spring break news, but it's spring break for baseball. Really, like I said, ever since baseball started changing their rules, and I really just am not into the sport of baseball anymore. I mean, yes, I'm still a Mets fan. I just can't do it.
I can't. I'll go to the minor league ones around me sometimes, but I can't sit on and just watch a game on TV no more. I can't do it.
So, um, I know in March the NFL news will pick up for us because that's when their off season officially starts, and then April we got the draft. So we'll get more NFL news. Like I said, in March you got basically March is the last full month for the NBA for teams to solidify their spot going into April. So that's going to be picking up. We got March Madness, which I mean, sometimes I follow. I don't know if you do.
Yeah, I do. I love March Madness. It's also one of the best sports things on TV every year.
Yeah, I feel. Oh, there is something that I do want to. I don't know if you've seen the video. Apparently there's a viral video going around about. Actually, there's two viral videos. Both of them involving LeBron James. But wait, before you, I know that's your favorite basketball player to talk about.
Hmm.
The first one apparently it happened after the Knicks game at Madison Square Garden, where NBA legend Shaq literally stopped the Lakers from going into their locker room and had words with LeBron James.
Well, it really didn't help because they just lost to the Magic last night. So
Well, from what I saw, it was mostly over because on LeBron James podcast, which I don't know why NBA players have a podcast during the regular season. That's puzzling to me when they should be out there working on their craft. LeBron James made a comment that you know the game is played. We all know the game is played differently now than it was in the '80s and '90s and early 2000s. And he's saying that it's the injuries are a lot different because back then, you get a high ankle sprain from landing on, somebody's ankle because there was always like four people in the paint compared to now where your high ankle sprains is just from I forgot what he said, but it kind of offended Shaq. And from what I was told, it took most of the Lakers, suits to separate Shaq from LeBron. And then there was another incident that well, it wasn't necessarily involved LeBron himself. It was about Bronny,
my second favorite NBA player.
where I guess Austin Reeves' agent got into it with Rich Paul because apparently there's reports that Rich Paul is trying to sabotage Austin Reeves where he doesn't get his max contract from the Lakers. He's trying to like get rid of Austin Reeves so that way Bronny has a starting spot.
I wouldn't start Bronny on my JV team. The first one, good. Fuck LeBron. Like he had a chase down Brock. He's been doing it for 20 years, and it was all over ESPN, YouTube. I'm like, dude, it's the same block he's been doing for 20 years. Relax. Um, again, why do guys have a podcast in the middle of their season of because that's just the world that we're living in now. You know, it's what we're doing. And second one, again, Bronny shouldn't be in the league anyway. Should just still be in college, but his daddy got him in the NBA, which annoys the living shit out of me. Um,
I agree.
and Austin Reeves has earned his money, and if that really does happen and he gets sent somewhere else, then they all deserve to just lose so many games. I don't even care. I'm just so sick and tired of the James family at this point. I'm just done with it.
Well, this is why I mean, yes, the NBA is still the second most popular sport because, like I said, baseball. I mean, with a lot of the rules. I mean, oh, excuse me. Maybe for some fans, and I don't want to speak on all of baseball fans. I know for me personally, and I probably can speak for you as well. With the rule changes that they made in baseball, it made it unappealing to true fans. I get they wanted to find a way to speed up the game, but me personally, I think the way they did it, it just it's just it makes the game more boring. I mean, checking a pitcher like every 3 innings to see if he has any substance on his body and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. I mean, I do like the instant replay rule. I mean, they need to adjust it some, but I mean, I'm okay with that because you do have human error. So you want to try to cut down on the human error, especially in key games like in playoff games in the World Series and stuff like that. You want to make sure you get the calls right, which I'm okay with that. The extra inning rules, I am really not okay with putting a runner on second base. I think it was after the 10th inning if it's still tied. I mean, it's just what happened to the old fashioned where, hey, let's duke it out. See now. I do believe that for the extra innings, they should cap it after a certain amount of innings. If it's still 0-0, then just make it a tie. I know baseball doesn't do ties, but I mean, the years of where, you know, sometimes you would go 20 something innings and then have to play the very next day. I mean, those days need to be over. I'm okay with that happening. But I say like go like okay, fourth if it's not done by the 14th inning, it's a tie.
Hmm.
But yes, but with basketball, I mean that's the reason why it's still the second rated sport because I mean I don't watch hockey. The only thing I like hockey for is the fights. Even with NASCAR, I quit watching that because that just turned into a joke. So yeah, basketball is the second favorite, best sport by default, and that's even a joke because of load management. So yeah, I don't know how you feel about it. I think I pretty much do, but
Yeah, I mean MLB again. I can't sit and watch it on TV. I'll go. I will go watch baseball games in person. A lot more interesting. And the minor leagues, they actually check them for substances after every inning, after every half inning. The
that's
temperature
ridiculous.
comes off and they check them. The challenge rule, I do like it. Again, there's human error. It shows that umpires aren't perfect. Again, I would love for anybody, any fan, to go be behind a catcher and call balls and strikes, fucking on the spot every single time. I would love for anybody to try it. NASCAR, I used to watch a lot when I was younger. With the Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon, and Jimmy Johnson, all of them, fucking, well, and the Bush brothers. Kevin Harvick running that. NASCAR. I haven't watched it in a while, actually, just because it's a joke right now. And really, it
Yeah,
was
broke
it
it
was
up
peak
into
NASCAR back in the
segments,
day.
and
hmm
yeah, it's bad.
Hockey again, don't watch it. The fights are all right. Um, Soccer, no thanks, absolutely
I
not.
agree.
Golf, absolutely not. So yes, yes. Well, I mean, basketball to me is my favorite sport. But I mean, if you want to talk about ratings, obviously the NFL is more, but um, the NBA and load management is just it's a joke. OG was out with something with with his toenail. I heard. I mean, I guess yes, that could be painful while playing basketball, but he missed I think 3 or 4 games with a toenail injury. Like, a toenail? Really?
I mean, depending on if the toenail's infected, then I can understand. Um, Again, certain injuries is just it's puzzling to me. I mean, you wasn't born yet, so but I'm sure you've seen the videos of when Isaiah Thomas was in the finals twisted his ankle and was
hmm
playing basically on one leg and was still putting up like 30 almost 30 points to try to will his team to win the finals. Players like that, they're not like built like that anymore. I mean, Kobe was the last one where no matter how hurt he was, I mean, look at when he blew his Achilles. He still went out there to shoot his free throws.
hmm
So I mean, we've seen players with Achilles and go down and you know get carted off. You know, the days of the Kobe Bryants and the Michael Jordans and those Isaiah Thomas players like those who get banged up and just get right back up and will themselves. Today's players are not like that. Today's players, they get hit, they're out for 3 weeks, and then
Yeah.
they're out there
hmm
doing their podcasts.
hmm But it's just again, they get paid so much money now to just sit around while injured. So why would they go back out and risk getting even more injured? So that's what comes down to. They make so much money that they can just sit around, with a kind of a mild turn ankle, so they're then out 1 to 2 weeks, and then they don't gotta go back out there, and they're still gotta get paid as if they were still playing. So
Yeah,
there's no real reward for them to go out there and risk getting injured even more when they could just sit and wait for it to fully heal and get paid the exact same.
yeah. So, yeah, that's my take on basically sports today is just I mean, even the NFL, if you compare from today's sports NFL to the 80s and 90s NFL, yeah, I mean, some of it has to change. I mean, the violent nature of the NFL with all the concussions. Yes, I can understand. Trying to eliminate the big hits to the heads, but when you also make it to the point where if you breathe on a quarterback, you're getting a 15-yard penalty. I mean, a lot of these sports now are basically catered to the offensive side of the sport because we all, I mean, let's face it, that's what put fans in the seats. I mean, yeah, defense win championships, but offense put fans in the seats. So I mean, I understand why a lot of leagues, lean more towards an offensive style sport But I mean, yeah, basketball. Yeah, a lot of the changes they made was really unnecessary and unwarranted.
Yeah, NFL, like you said, the whole CTE stuff, and the hard hits that needed to go. But when these quarterbacks are just again, like you said, if you even like look at them the wrong way and they fall over, it might be a 15-yard penalty. Like who knows anymore. It's gotten soft in some areas, but it's still very entertaining to watch. No doubt. So again, I will forever love football and basketball, but it makes it tough to watch when the players are doing nothing but complaining sometimes, and there's people like LeBron still in the league. But I mean, again, I'll keep watching it, but it does hinder me from watching it as much as I used to.
Yeah, I agree. Uh, Pretty much think that's all we got. Well, I mean, that's all we've been had.
Hmm.
um, we do have our sponsor Doobie for you gamers. It's an energy drink for you late like gamers that like to stay up, and game all night. Um, you know, they're still coming out with they're actually restocking a lot of their um, powder shakes that they were out of. They finally got a lot of them back in stock. I get an email almost like every other day from them about this is back in stock. This is back in stock. So yeah, give it a shot for you all you gamers that need that energy to stay up like late in the night. Feel free to use our discount code DropZone and you get 10% off. I do have some bad news about the store. I didn't get a chance to tell you, Jeff, but I got an email that I had to take the store offline because somebody tried to hack into the store, the online store. So right now it's currently offline. There is an investigation going on to find out, who tried to do it. The reason why I took it offline was for our customer safety. I'd rather have it offline instead of your personal information getting out to the wrong people. So for right now, the store is offline. Um, when it comes back out, I'll let everybody know. I am still in the process of making new designs and shirts and stuff like that. But for right now, the store is offline. Just for that reason, for like I said, it's for our safety, it's for our customer safeties. We want to make sure nobody's personal information gets leaked to the wrong people. So I've talked to Shopify, we've taken it off store. They are investigating to see if they can find who tried to hack into our data servers. Um, and if they do find out, it will be dealt with by through them because they do provide us with the stores and everything like that, and it's under their protection, federal protection for stuff like that. So like I said again, is for our safety and our customer safeties that no personal information gets leaked out, like credit card information, addresses, and stuff like that. So until further notice, the store is offline. Once I get an email from them saying that the situation has been rectified, I will bring it back online, and then we will let everybody know.
And it's good that Shopify has that software to tell when that happens, and they can take actions, and obviously we could take actions too by taking it down. Uh, Again, just like you said, for everybody's safety, so that was a good thing on everybody's part on that one.
Um, can't think of anything else. Oh, I'm still waiting for my buddy to send me the information from his products. Uh, like I said, it's basically just for men. It's for guys with beards. It's a beard care product and stuff like that. Where it's free. How do you put it? It doesn't have it doesn't have a fragrance tint to it. So when I get more information on that, then I will let you guys know, and I'll give you the link to where you can put it up and stuff like that. To get products if you need like stuff like that for your beard and stuff. But that's pretty much all I have.
Yeah, so like we said, oh, it's not gonna be a long episode. We're, we went for over an hour. Still.
Yeah, we had to stretch it, but we'll see everybody next week.
hmm
Um, yeah, can't think of anything else. So until next week,
Nope.
we see everybody. Have a good night.
Okay, have a good week.